and welcome back. So, we have made some progress this week on our debt payoff and retirement prep. So, we thought we'd share it. Definitely not where we really want to be, but it's definitely a start. So, that's about as good as we're going to get. So, I downloaded this debt calculator from Etsy. I will link, I guess, where it's from if you're interested in using the same one. This is obviously not sponsored since we have no viewers and followers yet. But anyway, but it's actually a nice looking one. And I'll just kind of walk through what I did so far. So the currency is in US dollars. It's for 2025. We're starting this in November. Our extra monthly payment I put in as $500. I think we can do more than that, but for right now, that's what we're working on. We're doing the debt avalanche. So the difference between the snowball and the avalanche, to my understanding, is the snowball is taking the smallest debts first and moving into the largest debts, just so that you get kind of that initial relief of having fewer accounts to pay off. Debt avalanche is taking kind of to the highest interest rate, and so that is what we're doing. So it's definitely not the highest or the lowest amount, but the highest interest rate, which is our credit card. That's what we want to get paid off first. I think I'm probably explaining that wrong, but and going down, our initial balance, $295,294. The reason is because I did put our mortgage in this. I really do want to get that paid off, and it still is really high at $266,650. So looking at the debts individually, the credit card is at $6,580 at a 26.9% interest rate, a minimum payment of $253. On the credit report is $455 from Verizon. We actually haven't had Verizon in 2 years, so I don't actually know what that is. I did dispute it on the credit report, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But I did a dispute. I'm assuming we probably do owe it because nothing ever really works out that way, but I'm going to avoid it. It's 0% interest. I'm going to avoid paying that one for a little bit. I have a student loan at 6.5% interest at $150 a month. We have a car loan at $9,458.36 at 5.29%. That has a payment of $458 a month. We have a tire and brake payment at $783.23. 0% interest. We're paying on that $75 a month. That one I'm not super concerned about. And then we have our mortgage. And that is a very, very low interest rate. We love this house. We have no desire to move for a while. At some point we will have to. We are in, without giving too much information, we're in the mountains, and it's very snowy in the winter and very steep.
And we're in our mid-century.
Yeah. So we won't be able to stay here forever, but I do want to get it paid off. Up here are all of like the payments, kind of with that extra $500 a month. So if we were to put that in, where are we to pay it off? And what is the payoff date if we only did that $500 a month? Like I said, we want to throw as much of this as we can. So 500 is the minimum. Hopefully we'll be able to do more. But this just has all of these set up. And if you go down, kind of what the cost will be. So looking at starting next month, we'll be doing 700. Actually, that's this month, but we're at the end of this month. So $753 a month on the credit card, and we would have that paid off in August of next year. So again, really, really hoping to have that done a lot sooner. So
and that would also cover about how to save money.
Well, yeah, we're
different ideas.
Yeah, different idea, and that I think is definitely part of our strategy. But right now is we just kind of need to get stuff paid off and figure out how much money we even have. We do have an emergency fund of about $1,000 in a different account with Ally Bank. We're not following Dave Ramsey to a T, or like that whole kind of thing, but having an emergency fund of $1,000 seems like a really good idea. So we're just going to leave that there and not put it toward our debt, just in case something comes up. And what we think about Yeah, and what we think
vehicle.
about is vehicle, or if a family member who lives out of town gets ill, we can pay for a last minute plane ticket and jump on a plane and go see them. So that's kind of, we do have aging parents, some who live out of state in a state that's kind of hard to get to, and so that is sort of that fund, just in case for that. We have not used that fund in a long time. We've just left it there, so we'll just continue to leave that there at this time. So our plan for all of this debt is to add the $500 a month on, to make minimum payments on everything, so that we don't go into default on anything. I guess the question is for you, if you were out there, did that work for you, or did all of the debt just keep building because the minimum payments wasn't covering
Right.
the interest? Um, so I guess that's a goal for next time, is to figure out like
How much interest?
how much interest is accruing every month and how much we need to actually pay, not just to stay out of default, but to not have the actual amount go up anymore.
Right.
So, okay, so that's a goal. I do have a goal page on the next page that we'll talk about. Um, we are attacking one thing at a time. The first thing that we'll do is our credit card. That definitely needs to just be paid off as quickly as possible. That is a huge interest rate. Um, After that is the student loan, and a car loan. I applied for student loan forgiveness and was rejected for that, when the whole student loan forgiveness thing was around. I think the paperwork was wrong, was complicated and wrong. That was during COVID, and life was really complicated. I'm going to reapply for that. Um, they have paused and gotten rid of a lot of those programs, but one that is still available is the public service forgiveness program. So I'm going to reapply for that because that would be, pretty amazing. So I'll add that as well to my loan. But right now, that's what we're looking at. Like I said, in the meantime, since we saw you last, you non-existent viewers, we have paid off two additional smaller medical bills that total to about $550 that were not on credit reports, but probably would have been at some point. So we're very, very close to being on there. Other things that we're doing, looking for second jobs. I did find a second job that is very, very limited in hours, but and honestly really intimidating. I need to. It's with Babbel. So anyone else who's maybe looking for like a really part-time thing, it's Babbel is a language learning program, and this job is literally just having conversations with people. It's six people at a time about a topic, and I'm assuming they use that in teaching people English. And so, but it just seems really like an intimidating thing to get going. So I just need to do it and get comfortable, and then it would be fine. It's limited to about an hour a day of work, but every little bit helps, right? So I'm hoping to get that actually started today, um, and then and my husband is still looking for a part time position. Hopefully, something will come up soon.
Seems like nobody gets back. It's all AI generated.
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
it's really hard. Anybody who's really out of work right now, and again, we both have full time jobs, so this would need to be pretty limited on the side. And we have children that are very active in sports and friends, so it's fitting it in is going to be really difficult, but I think it needs to happen. It's just really hard to find a job right now. So if you were totally out of work and recently laid off, or I feel for you because it is not fun out there right now. So
There are jobs.
at all,
But
there's
postings,
jobs, but yeah, but
no, they seem not to be
they
hiring.
yeah nobody's really seems to be hiring. So, but that is what we're working on. Hopefully, in our next one, we will have two part-time jobs, and that will just add to our income. We have a pretty decent budget set up, but anything that comes from a second part-time job would just go straight to that. So that's our goal. Looking at our credit scores and goals, so the credit scores starting out were just awful at 626 for me and 634 for C. Mine jumped in a week to 646, which I think it's probably because I disputed
Yeah.
that one charge. So who knows if that will stay there or if that charge will come back on and it'll drop again. I don't know. His went up 1 point. So, and our goal is to get this to 750 for each of us, which we were at. We've been at for most of our adult lives, and we
Yeah.
just, I don't know, everything just took a tumble, and so here we are. That's,
We'll get it
that's
back.
what we got. But yeah, we're actively working on it. Things we're doing to boost the credit scores is lowering our credit utilization, so basically paying off debt, making all on-time payments. We're pretty good about that, but I want to make sure that we are really getting everything in absolutely on time, so there's nothing anyone can say against our credit. We're going to keep old accounts open, so even when this credit card is paid off, I'll keep it open, just not use it, which has been traditionally how we've used it. And then checking our credit scores monthly, if not more often, just to see kind of they're really updated monthly. So I guess that would make sense. Yeah. So that's what we'll do to manage that. Um, and then lastly, we have our goals. So find second jobs at around 10 hours a week. I've done that. Mine's about 7 hours a week. We're still looking for one for C. Um, I want to find a good retirement specialist, someone who can really walk us through what we have, what we don't have, what we need to do to pick up the pace and just get ready. Because really, honestly, I don't want to work forever. I would love to have a retirement plan that is in place and that I know I could manage. Even honestly, if it's working really part time somewhere, I just don't want to be doing the current position that I'm in. It's just a lot of people management and um, in a in burnout. Yeah, a lot of burnout. So that's a goal to even just find someone and get an appointment set up. Follow up on any potential collections calls. We get a lot of scam calls, and we're never really sure. Like, is it a collections because we had so much medical over the past few years, um, or is it just literally a scam call? So we're just trying to kind of figure out what the difference is because honestly, collections calls they don't usually say anything or leave a message
And they don't send letters.
and they don't send letters, and so we feel like we're always kind of battling like what is this call. So that's something that we've started working on.
Is it somebody who's claiming to be a creditor?
Right, are they claiming that we owe them money? Do we actually owe them money? All of that. So and what we're doing really with those is saying please send us a letter in the mail and just confirming that it was an actual charge. Hence the Verizon one. I did dispute that because I don't actually know what that is. I need someone to tell me what that is, and I can't log in to our account anymore on Verizon because we're not with them. And so anyway, more to come on that. And then we're going to reanalyze our budget and look at other areas that we can cut or adjust due to just inflation and everything else. So of course, going into holiday season, that gets a little bit harder, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
So a lot of money going out this
a
time.
lot of money going out this time of year. So anyway, that's where we're at. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you all um, have a lovely day wherever it is that you are in the world.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.